Friday. It's good to see so many of you. Hello to all our Facebook friends. My name is Ingrid Jean-Baptiste. I'm the founder and director of the Chelsea Film Festival. Welcome to CFF Talks TV series. It's a program we created during the pandemic to bring people together. And today it's our 12th episode. You will be able to ask your questions during the second part of the show by posting them in the comments section on Facebook. I'm very excited to welcome the cast of the Umbrella Academy. They're all joining us from Canada. We have Blake Talabis, who plays young Diego, Cameron Brodeur, who portrays young Luther, Dante Albidone, who portrays young Klaus, Eden Cupid, who is young Allison, Ethan Hwang, who is young Ben, and TJ McGibbon, who portrays young Vanya in the TV series. Welcome you all. Thank you for joining us. And last but not least, I'd like to welcome my co-host for today's program. Her name is Kiki Lemden Stout. She is a writer, director, producer, the founder and CEO of Mudcat Films. She is a lifetime member of the Actors Studio, a former jury member of the Chelsea Film Festival, and currently sits on our advisory board. And she's joining us from Austin, Texas. So welcome, Kiki. I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Ingrid, and thank you to the cast of the Umbrella Academy. I am so excited to have you here. I'm a big fan of the show. My husband is in the other room. He's even more of a fan, so let's hope he doesn't crash in here and take over. Because congratulations, season 3. It was just announced, I would say, less than 2 weeks ago. It is such a phenomenal hit. Each season, you keep getting more and more viewers. So congratulations, and let's just kick it off to let's talk about what you're most excited about season 3.
Absolutely. I was very excited at the end of season 2 when we saw the evil or the evil Ben and stuff. So I'm excited to see where that goes for the next season, because that seems like something that was a twist that I was not expecting. That's for sure.
I know, and I want to talk about this when we talk about character development. All of you play these characters that have superior intellect, that have these extraordinary abilities. I mean, in essence, they're superheroes. So I want to go around and just let's start with you, Cameron, about how you prepared for your role. And I know each thing's a little different, but let's talk about how do each of you individually prepared to play superheroes? Because that's a tough task.
Well, I could say that maybe I've been preparing to be a superhero my entire life. I mean, I've always dressed up in superhero costumes, so I was always sort of in that mentality of I wanted to be a superhero. But when it came to this show specifically, I did read the comics. When I learned that I was going to be playing Space Boy, I grabbed the comic and then started reading it. And I learned from there, but I also contacted Tom, and Tom and I sort of discussed how the character was, emotionally. And so that was really how I sort of prepared for it. But when it came to the superhero doing and when we were fighting the bad guys and stuff, that was just like, I already knew like in my mind how I was going to fight villains and stuff. So I was very excited when I got to do that on screen. So that's how I prepared.
And what about Eden, what about you? You play young Allison, and she has this ability to control people's minds and thoughts. How did you prep for your role?
I think that, first of all, Allison is such an incredibly fun character, personality and power-wise. When I went in for the reading of Allison, my scene, which was with Cameron's character, Space Boy, and it was just such a fun and exciting scene of just like these two kids who have this immense responsibility of, saving the world and having these powers and doing good with them. So I think the way I got into the character was just completely letting my side of, as well, I love superheroes and all of that, just like take control and just really putting myself out there in a character I've never played before and in a position I've never played before, and just absolutely having fun with it, letting my other cast members kind of rub off on me and just having their energy to play off of and all of that. So it was a totally new experience, and I kind of just threw myself into the water, and it was really exciting, and I'm very grateful for it.
And speaking of you and Cameron, your characters are, well, you're in essence brother and sister, but there's also an affectionate relationship there. How did you build that out? Did it happen organically as you worked with each other? Did you rehearse prior to showing up on set?
Yeah, well, I mean, we had filmed scenes prior together before the eventual tent scene. So I mean, we had already spent quite a bit of time together, so it was like it sort of came naturally, and it wasn't awkward by any means. I hope it wasn't awkward by any means, but it was not. So it honestly, it flowed super well, and we just built on that as the season went on, because I think there were more scenes at the end, especially when Vanya was sort of going crazy and destroying everything. We had that little moment, which was nice to see sort of evolve throughout the series. But yeah, so it wasn't.
Yeah, for sure. I think me and Cameron having our characters together, having the most solo scenes, and just a lot of late night shooting together, it was a great time for us to build that friendship. And we also just kind of had outside things in common, like each other liking superheroes and all of that. So that was just really great to like mesh together for our characters. And it wasn't awkward by any means. It was really great working with them.
I know I've enjoyed so much watching that relationship, I guess, evolve from, I guess more of a teen kind of affection to adults. And so I wanted to link back, and you were talking about, Cameron, how you in essence would talk with the man that plays your older character, Astronaut Boy, or Luther. I wanted to ask Dante, you play young Klaus, who I think is just a really fascinating, fun character. I mean, he has a lot of issues, let's just say. How did you start, I guess, seeding that type of really big type of personality as a young adult child?
Like when the first season came out, I read the comics like Cameron did to like kind of get an idea of what Klaus was like. And I also watched some of Robert's other movies that he was in, just to see how he was like and how he acted. And like I noticed that he was like more flamboyant. So for me, I kind of went with like a Johnny Depp type thing, like the Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, I can see that he is a very flamboyant personality, both in how he, physically, and not just the costumes, but just how he expresses himself.
Yeah.
I also was wondering, were any of you prior to this, were you comic book fans, or did getting into this show just allow you to be a comic book fan because you are now part of this universe?
For me, getting in the show allowed me to be a comic book fan. I never really read them as a kid, but I really like them now.
For myself, I come from a dad who's huge on comic books, has like over 700. So I was always surrounded by them, never really picked them up myself, but was always really into the shows that they were based off of. So I've always really been into superheroes, but yeah, I guess the show was really the starting point of me like opening one up.
Same story as Eden. I grew up with a dad who grew up with comics, so he collected a bunch of them, and we actually still have the boxes in the basement. So when I was little, I would just go down the stairs, grab a comic book, grab a comic book or two. I think I read like 4 at a time. I would grab one, go upstairs, and just read them all. And ever since I was little, I've been reading comics. So it was definitely fun to be able to bring a comic book to life.
Yeah, I'm saying thing. My dad, I remember, I think I would be like 5 or 6, and like he would read me comic books before I went to bed, which I don't know. I always found that like really awesome. So I've always been into comics too, and obviously being able to play someone from a comic was like such a surreal experience.
So Blake, you play the young Dago, and he has this kind of telekinetic energy that can move things. I mean, these are such extraordinary abilities. Let's talk a little bit about how you prep for your role.
Yeah, I think Diego comes off as very, very tough, very, hard to break through to his like actual self. Like he's kind of a softie, and I think that's kind of what I wanted to touch upon, especially when I was younger, because there's a couple scenes where, I'm with my mom and I'm having, obviously he has the stutter, the speech impediment. So I think that one was an interesting thing for me to try to wrap my head around and see what it would be like for someone who actually had a stutter to go through. So I think that kind of aspect of the role was, really interesting and challenging for me to try to integrate into what I was doing. But yeah, I think that one was really, really good. And it obviously kind of helped me figure out the role as I was going on as well.
And TJ, you play the young Vanya, and without giving any spoilers away, we know that she is kind of isolated from the group because, it's assumed that she has no powers. But as the seasons go on, we see that is not true at all. So how did you prep for your role? How did you prep for, especially, she's a classical musician. And I was wondering, music is so important in this show, and we'll talk more about it later. But how did you go about approaching your role?
Yeah, so when I first got the audition, I managed to get a hold of the comic books before I ever went in, and so I was able to like read as many as possible. And so that was a really good way to prep for the role. And then when I got it, I got to sit down with Ellen and we kind of had a conversation about where I was when I was playing her and where she wanted to be and how we could try to mesh those together and create a fluid storyline. And that was also really helpful for me. If you know me, you know I'm a really positive person. And so the being really sad and like, I don't think I smiled once in the entire show was definitely different for me, but I had a lot of fun.
And Ethan, you play the young Ben, and we see the older Ben really vis-a-vis through Klaus, their relationship. So you have this kind of task of building a character out that we, the audience, still don't really know much about. So could you kind of give us some insights how you went about it, developing your character?
I mean, Ben was an interesting character because only Klaus can see him, and also because he's actually the only character that I believe in the family doesn't have really bad relationships with anyone. Obviously Luther and Diego have like a rivalry, but I don't see that with anyone, for Ben. Also, he's I don't believe he keeps to himself. I just think he's really shy. Also, the fact that he just wants to be normal. I think he isn't prepared for any of the superhero scene. I just think he's, with himself. I talked to Justin multiple times and he just told me, it's a different character to play, especially as a superhero. Most superheroes are, they have this personality complex, but Ben's sort of simple, I believe. Yeah.
That is true. So I want my next question for all of you, and you can just jump in. Was there any particular scene or moment that for your character that you found personally challenging as the actor? Because, we were talking a lot about, these superpowers and their personalities and how you make that feel like a real person.
I think one of the most challenging scenes for me it's kind of a combination of two. I would say it was the scene where me and Cameron were sneaking out, and we exchanged the chocolates and all of that and had that really sentimental moment of the necklace. But then also at Ben's funeral, where it was I would say minus 30 degrees outside Celsius, and it was just so blizzardly cold. But also just having to keep that intense emotion of my brother just died, and having to really conjure up that like situation that's not real but is real, because you're placing yourself in this character who you so believe in is real and you've worked so hard to connect with and all of that. So keeping that connection and really putting your character's heart and your heart in it was challenging, but it was really nice. And so
Yeah, same here. I'd like, obviously the funeral scene was very rough, and obviously the weather didn't help either. But I find that for like the character that I was playing, Luther is a very, he's like supposed to be the happy, like the strong one, the sort of number one, as you could say. And so it was a little bit rough trying to break apart from that and play, like, show some vulnerability, which would not normally be seen by the number one. So that I found was challenging. Also, it was not easy seeing Ethan's face on a while we were at his funeral. So that was not fun either. But it gave us all the opportunity to sort of show some vulnerability that normally wouldn't be seen, and it really did help grow our characters. So that was definitely the toughest scene, both because of the weather and the circumstance.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. It was freezing that day. Like, we were going inside, and we were all trying to warm up. It was so cold that day. I think my toughest scene, though, I kind of touched on it earlier, was that stutter scene, because kind of the same thing, like what Cameron said. Diego, he kind of tries to be number one, even though that's kind of Luther's role, but they always have a little bit of a rivalry, and he tries to be all tough. But that scene gave an aspect of like humanity to Diego, and he was trying to say, don't move, and trying to stop these bad guys, but he just couldn't get it out. He couldn't say it. So I think that for me was really hard, because I had to get in the mindset of how hard that would be. If you're trying to stop a bad guy, you can't even say the words. It's obviously would be embarrassing in front of your siblings who ask a lot of you. So I think that was a really tough scene for me, but it was obviously the casket scene was a good one too.
Yeah, I think for me,
TJ, you can go. It's okay.
Thank you. At the end of season 1, I got the chance to be in a scene with Ellen. The gray room scene, I won't try not to give any spoilers, but the emotions that I was in that scene, we were there for quite a few hours in a really, really tiny, like, soundproof gray box. And the entire time, even if I wasn't being shot at the moment, like, I stood in the corner of the room so that me and Ellen could kind of play off of each other, and she could keep up that intense emotion too. And I definitely don't get mad very often, and I'm not very sinister as a person, so that was definitely difficult for me to grasp. Like, I was like, oh, I'm creeping myself out. This is weird. But I think it turned out really good, and I definitely learned a lot.
So the toughest scene for me would be the casket scene too. One, because of how cold it was, and two, I'm just not used to going like that emotional for a lot of things, and it was just hard to like imagine like my own brother being in that casket. Yeah.
So Ethan, what is your favorite aspect of your character?
He sort of glues the family together, I believe. The whole I can tell by the script, the whole family loves him. So I believe the casket scene was very deep and emotional for the whole family, maybe even the downside for all their relationships. But yeah, he's a great character, and I'm grateful to play him. It's a great experience.
And let's talk a little bit, because we mentioned the cold. You all are in Canada, and as Canadian actors, this is now an international hit. I mean, has your lives changed? I mean, have they not? I mean, I'm always curious to what it's like, because you're all also students too, right? And to balance you know, this life work at your age. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I mean, it's a crazy, thing to go from. I was playing sports and this competitive array and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, I hit like 100,000 on Instagram. But yeah, to interact with fans from like across the world, it's amazing. It's also really fun, just to talk to other people, especially on Twitter. It's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the best part is really connecting with people. I mean, I've met so many people because of this show, and it's given me so many opportunities to meet so many different people. So definitely, it's given all this sort of new experience that we weren't expecting. Definitely, we're not going. We didn't go into this thinking that it was going to be such a big hit that it was. So grateful that it was, and that so many people viewed it, because it really is like the effort that the crew and production and the cast put into the show is really, really amazing. So I'm super happy that people liked it. But yeah, it's definitely the social aspect has definitely is what I'm most grateful for, because like I said, I mean, I got to meet all these guys, so that's definitely the highlight because I really missed all of them. We haven't spoken in a little while, and doing this has been awesome because I get to see their nice faces again. So, but yeah, no, just super, super grateful for everything. So thank you very much, and to everyone who's watching too.
Yeah, for sure. I am, again, I really just piggybacking on Cameron. I think that, realizing that the show would be absolutely nothing it is today without the supporters, without the fans and the love for it. And we can never truly tell you how grateful we are for you guys. Thank you so much, because it has really flipped our lives upside down, and in the best way possible. I mean, going from people just knowing me at school to people kind of knowing me worldwide, it was very, very crazy and very different. But it definitely, I think the experience and the result of this show secured 100% my love for the industry, and really just, it secured my thought of just, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, for sure. And I'm so eternally grateful for it, and for everyone who's joined today. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it changed a lot. Sorry.
Go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, for me, it changed a lot socially too. Like, again, before, like Ethan said, I was at like 1,000 followers, and I just jumped up to 100K. And it would get weird too, because I'd be like walking down the street and someone would come up to me and ask if I was Dante. And I would say yes and like talk to them for a bit. And that kind of like made me a little happy. But what I'm most proud about is meeting all of these people, especially when we went to Cedar Point together. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, for me too, it would definitely be all the friends that I've gained from it. I mean, these guys, of course, and we got really close filming, but then also like now I kind of have friends all over the world, which is really cool. And I live in Hamilton, and so sometimes I'll get noticed on the street too, which was really strange. But it was a lot of fun, and I love meeting them and being able to talk to people. And I've definitely learned a lot.
Yeah, it's like surreal when someone comes up to you and they're like, "Oh, are you from Real Academy?" I'm like, "I'm just Blake, man." Like, but yeah, it's awesome. And like our fans, we honestly have some of the best fans. Like I don't even know what to say. I can speak for everyone when I say we really love every single one of you. Like this show, Cameron said it. I think Eden might have said it. Like this show wouldn't be the same without you guys. And yeah, it's really amazing what you guys can do.
So let's get into talking about the story world a little bit. Let's have some fun with, season 2. Again, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it takes us back to a very iconic moment in history. And so I want to ask each of you, if you could time travel back to an iconic moment in history, where would you travel to and why? And we'll start with Blake.
Putting me on the spot.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm a big sports fan, so this might not be like, but maybe I'd travel back like 50 years to the last time the Leafs won a Stanley Cup, which for any sports fans out there, like, the Leafs have not been too great. the past couple of years, but or maybe like the year of Tupac and Big E before they died. I'm also a big rap fan, so I don't know. One of those eras would probably be my thing, because I think Tupac and Big E are like, they literally define rap if you're talking about like who are the GOATs and who are the greatest. So I think one of those two eras would be my first choice.
Well, I think you made Canada proud with your shout out to the hockey. So that is what about you, Cameron? Where would you go?
Assuming we're not bound by the 2 centuries that have just passed, I think that I would go right to being a knight. I mean, I've always wanted to see what it was like. I know I probably wouldn't last very long, but I would like to just see what that was like. And just like, I'm a huge fan of like castles and anything medieval. So traveling back in time and seeing like the prime of those sort of events, I mean, I would go there in a heartbeat if I could come back. In a heartbeat. Like I said, I don't have the training to be a knight, but yeah, definitely the medieval times.
You're brave, Cameron. I don't. That is a. What about you, Dante?
To be honest, I'm still thinking about it. If I could go back in time, I think I'd go back to one of the Super Bowls where Seattle and the Patriots were playing, just so I could go on the field and slap Russell Wilson for throwing an interception in the end zone on the final play that could have won him the game, but they just choked it. And that made me so mad, and I still get mad about it to this day.
He should have ran the ball.
Exactly. They had the best running back in the league. That made me so mad. But yeah,
Russell might take you up on that.
that's...
You might want to go back and revisit that too. You might want to screw with that timeline a bit, mess it up a bit.
Oh yeah.
TJ, where would you go?
I'm kind of torn. I think like a big event. I think it would have been kind of cool to be around like 1918 when like women got the right to vote. That would have been kind of cool to kind of be around. But then again, do I want to go back that far where I have to deal with all of the mess? Probably not. But maybe like the 50s or 60s. I would have really liked to be friends with Audrey Hepburn. So.
Eden.
Oh, this is hard. Yeah, I would probably say, I think my favorite era is probably the 90s. That wasn't that long ago, but I would go back then just because that entire like culture and the hip hop and the music and all of that is just like my favorite. It's very much my style inspiration now. So yeah, I want to see Michael Jackson in concert. That would have been muy bien. So yeah.
Ethan, where would you travel to?
Oh, I got a bunch. Well, first of all, I'm a hockey fan, so I have to agree with Blake here. This year's been disappointing, but it is what it is. Yeah, it'd be great to see the Leafs play and win again. Yeah. Also, but I missed the cast, so I really miss filming. If I could go back in time, I'd probably see you guys again. It'd be fun. Just a quick thing.
So let's talk about set life. How many days you all are all students, and so you balance your work and your scholastic life together. How many days do you shoot, and for how long? What is your typical day like on set?
Well, I mean, we shot the most in the first season. We spent the most time on set and together. So that was our most charged year for sure. And so we would spend we'd spend the whole day there shooting. The first scene, that's the bank scene where we're, fighting the people doing the holdup. We filmed that for several days. Just that one little scene. It took forever to do. So just like a scene like that lasts maybe like 2 or 3 minutes can be virtually like 10 days filming. It doesn't matter. Like it just depends on, the circumstances. So definitely we spent a lot of time the first season. Second season, we spent, I think, the full days filming the the scene. It was a full day, I think. Yeah, we filmed right till the end of the day and started early, so that was fun. That was nice to see them again. But like, I don't know about anyone else, but during the first season, I had exams because it was my fourth year of high school, so it was like my most charged year, and I decided for some reason that I wanted to go into high math and high science, and I wasn't going to be on set at all. Sorry, I wasn't going to be in class for like half the year. So that whole year, I was probably at school maybe 2 months in total. So all of my exams and my finals and everything, I did on set, which was pretty stressful. So if you can, I obviously helped me, learn to balance both school and set life. But no, so definitely the first year was the most charged.
Yeah, for sure. Much like Cameron, we started filming second semester of my junior year, grade 10, and we started right at the end of January, which is right at the beginning of my winter exams, and then we finished like right at the end of June, first week of July, which is the end of my exams for the summer. So I did all of my exams on set. I missed a lot of my junior year, but it was a really great learning experience in terms of balancing complete two different tasks and being able to put myself in that organizational aspect. So yeah, I enjoyed it, but it was a hard time. It was rough.
I got pretty lucky. Season 1 filmed mostly during my grade 8 year, which means I had no exams, which was really nice. But I think for like child actors in general, the switch between trying to work and then like going and doing all of the school is really challenging. Like no matter what you're kind of in, because you go from being completely immersed in a character and in a scene, and if you're doing a difficult scene, like it takes a lot of emotional strength, and then you just like go and have to take a math test. And so I think the way that we have to switch our brains so quickly is a really difficult concept to grasp. But yeah.
Yeah, I can really agree with TJ. I was also in my grade 8 year when I did, so I didn't have any exams, but yeah, we had to do, I think it was 2 hours of school every time we were on set because it was during the school year, and it's hard because like you're with your friends, so you don't really want to do school, but there's a teacher there, and like you got to do it. So it's hard to, like what TJ was saying, it's hard to be in the acting mode, trying to get your scene done, and then you go into this little trailer and you got your math textbook open, you're just doing questions, and all you want to do is like just talk with your friends. So it was hard, but got to do it, and it worked out in the end.
Yeah.
By the
Go ahead. Okay. It was pretty hard for me too, because I think I was in my grade 9 year, so that was like the first year I was taking exams. So it was a pretty new thing to me, and I think that year I had math and science in the same semester, so those exams were pretty hard, and I had to do them on set, like in Toronto, because I live in Windsor. So I had to do them in Toronto instead of at school. So that was weird, but I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty fun. I was also in my grade 8 year. Season 1 came out, I think, when I was in the beginning of grade 9. But yeah, being on set and then going to like a trailer, it was like pretty small actually. And we all sat there homework. I remember I sat next to Cameron and he used to draw. Remember that? I think he drew like Elmo or something. I don't remember, but it was really fun.
Elmo?
Considering it was like
Oh.
Elmo, yeah. I remember Chase and some of them. But it's it was really fun. It was different for me, being at school, not doing much, and then all of a sudden, I'm on a set filming a TV show. It was such a crazy thing, but it was a little challenging, but I'd say it was a good experience.
Well, Blake, you talked about this a little bit, and I'm going to circle back to music. Part of the story world of the Umbrella Academy is music is such an important component. And, from young Vanya and the adult Vanya playing the violin, and then just the soundtrack alone. And Blake, you talked about how Biggie and Tupac were some of your favorites. I have a question for you all. If you could pick any song to put into season 3, what would you pick to put in the Umbrella Academy?
Definitely The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. I think that song could be easily implemented into season 3. I really like that song, and it can be used in a multitude of ways. So definitely The Chain by Fleetwood Mac.
Noted.
I listen to a lot of UK rap, so I don't think that would kind of like go with the Umbrella Academy. It's a very different style of rapping. But if I could pick a song, I say Seven Nations Army would be a good one to be in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I listen to rap too, but I can tell if it's a good song or not, so it doesn't really matter on the genre. I'm looking through, and I'd say, do you guys remember Forever Young? That is a pretty good song, so I'd say I had that one too. It's a great song. Put into.
I think I would put in Get Jiggy With It by Will Smith. Just because those moments of like Allison and Luther, our older versions, dancing and all of that, it's such a fun and playful relationship, and that song makes me dance.
Maybe we get some like Toronto influence in the next season, some like Shawn Mendes or something. I don't know, get some, and we're like maybe his new song Wonder. I know it's a little poppy, but just like a little nice little intro scene with Shawn Mendes, get some Toronto influence. I think it'd be all right.
TJ, what about you?
I honestly have no clue. I think like Steve did such an incredible job with the soundtrack, like both seasons. It definitely also, I got a lot of new songs from that soundtrack that are definitely on my playlist now. So I don't think I can think of one. We could bring back Dancing in the Moonlight. I think that should be in season 3 again.
Got it. Nice. So I have another question. We have the commissioners, and the commissioners are people that I don't want to do spoilers, but your family has to go against the commissioners. So I have a question for you. If you could choose a commissioner to switch places with, to play in the show, who would you pick and why?
I'd say Herb.
I was gonna say Herb.
Herb, too bad.
Also
I took
gonna say
Herb. I took Herb. Herb is an amazing guy. I don't think I've met him before. I'm not sure, but when I saw him, it was oh my god. It was a great character.
Does 5 count? Even though he's an ex-commission, he used to be part of the commission.
Yeah,
I was going to say Herb too, but
that's out of the box, but I like it.
If Herb was taken, then I guess 5. But that's just because I would like to still be in the super suit, even if I'm stuck in the super suit.
Dante, what about you?
Then I was gonna say Herb, but I don't know now.
You can still pick Herb.
Okay, I guess I'll pick Herb like Ethan then.
Go ahead.
Go, no, you.
I was also gonna pick her, but I think for me, maybe the handler. Probably solely because her wardrobe is incredible. I mean, our costume department did an incredible job with her wardrobe. Like, especially at the very end of season 2, it was wonderful.
Yeah, I'm gonna double down on the handler because her headpieces and all her hair and stuff was really cool, and yeah, I feel like she's such a cool character, so I'm definitely gonna go with the handler.
Yeah, the handler has quite the wardrobe. I mean, in all of her battle scenes, she looks amazing. So I can totally understand. I would probably choose the handler too, just for aesthetics alone. But I also like Cha-Cha. I mean, she's kind of out there, and she doesn't really take anything off anybody, which I think is and I also love Mary J. Blige. So, on a musical level too, I think Cha-Cha and the handler for me, if I had to throw in. And also, I'm talking more about the story world. Each of your characters have these superpowers. So if you could take in real life a superpower from any character in the show, which would you take and why?
Luther's super strength. Hands down, Luther's super strength. Actually, oh god, Diego's knife throwing skills are actually pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. So it would either be Luther's super strength or Diego's knife throwing skills. Those would be mine.
Yeah, I'd have to agree on that. Ben's superpower is pretty scary. I don't even know if I could handle that. Oh, it's just tentacles coming out of my stomach, and I was talking to Gerard Way, and he said, there's instances when the tentacle hits me in the face or something. I have no idea, but it just seems like a scary superpower. I'd say I'd take Luther Cameron's superpower as well. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Eden's power. I think the rumor thing. I think that's like you can get you can get away with a lot of things with that. Like you can just tell someone to do whatever they want to do. So I think I'm gonna go with that one.
You guys are sleeping on Lila's powers. She can copy anyone's powers and use that. Like, I mean, if people have powers in this world that we can take powers from, I definitely pick hers because she could just choose whichever power she wants and then use it. So definitely hers.
Yeah, Lila's power is incredible for sure. It'd probably be between, well, I guess it would be her power as well, because then I could just have anyone's power whenever I want. But if I didn't choose Lila, I'd say maybe 5, just because, like, man, that's a lot of time you could save just there and there, 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think Lila's obviously are pretty cool because she can have everybody's, but I feel like that would be a lot of pressure for myself. Like I feel like I couldn't master them all. And I mean, Vanya's are pretty cool too, but they're kind of deadly. I feel like that wouldn't go well with me. Like I would definitely do something by accident. So I think Allison's are pretty cool. I feel like I could get a handle on those.
All right, our last questions before we take it out to the audience. You're going to be shooting season 3 next year, but do any of you, what's your looking like? Do you have upcoming projects, things you're working on outside of the Umbrella Academy that your fans can track?
I ain't got nothing going on right now, to be honest. I'm just focusing on school.
Same. I'm focusing on school. Grade 11 is an important year. I feel like things have slowed down though because of COVID.
Yeah.
So hopefully, they get back. Production starts in February, I think. So.
Yeah, same here with me. I can agree with Dante and Ethan on that one.
Yeah, and I'm preparing for university currently, so I have that taking up most of my schedule. So definitely school and preparations for university.
Yeah, I did just wrap another project actually in October, and that was really exciting. I'm really excited for that project to come out. I filmed a movie, and going into February, I have another project on the way that's still in productions and still, getting on its feet. But I'm really excited, and other than that, it's school for me.
I just had a movie come out called The War with Grandpa, so that's still in theaters in Canada. But then other than that, COVID has slowed things down a lot on my end, so I'm kind of focusing on grade 11, trying to get through high school.
Yes, I think school, I'm a big fan of people going to school and going to college and pursuing that. So, and then we have season 3 to look forward to. And I know your fans are, the chats is just, the questions are blowing up so quickly. I don't know how Ingrid, you're going to read this. But, yeah, they're so enthusiastic. So let's turn it over to them. Thank you all. It was so fun talking to all of you. I wish you the best in your endeavors going forward. And I'm going to be watching season 3. I'm a big fan. So
well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It was nice talking.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Ingrid, I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kiki. So we have a couple of questions here. One is, let me get it for you. because yeah, the chat is on fire. So we always try to do that. Sometimes it works. And today there's a lot of messages of love. Cameron, marry me. Please, they love you. So it's also nice to just, pay attention to all these like loving messages nowadays, right? Because the quarantine has been difficult. So one question, yeah, we had from Noelia Vasquez, was her birthday today. So happy birthday. Maybe you
Happy
want to say
birthday.
happy birthday to Noelia.
Birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. What's your name?
She wanted to know how was your, how did you face quarantine? Like, what was your routine to make your life a little bit better? What was your support system?
Eating and video games. I know some people say sleeping, but yeah, video games and eating.
What kind of food did you eat?
My mother's cooking and snacks.
Lucky you.
Yeah. Thank you.
What
A lot. Same thing for me. Eating, and I really caught up on my anime. All my anime lovers out there, I was in it over quarantine, still am. So that was me. Yeah.
Definitely same here, catching up on my anime. But also I was helping out my grandmother quite a bit during quarantine and staying safe. And I worked out and then school hit, so then I couldn't anymore. So I'm kind of disappointed, but I'll get back on that during the winter break. But yeah, definitely anime took up most of my quarantine.
Yeah, for me, it was also catching up on my animes and video games. And me and my dad and my brother, we built our own home gym in our garage. So I've been working out there a lot. That's how I've been coping with the quarantine.
Yeah, I think for me, I think I watched about like 15 different shows within the first 2 weeks. And so I also took a lot of online dance classes, and I danced a lot over quarantine, and now I'm still dancing. We have a little bit in person now with the mask and social distance, obviously, but that was really helpful.
Yeah, I also my studio shut down for dance, so we went to Zoom for a while, which was like obviously not the best, but I still got to dance a lot during quarantine, which that was a really big thing for me. And also a lot of video games, a lot of eating, a lot of sleeping. So yeah.
All right. We have a question from Asiri Suyana, and she's asking a very, I think, difficult question, is what would you change about your character? If you had anything to change.
To be honest, I wouldn't change much. I think Ben's a beautiful character. You know what? Maybe a little more comfortable with himself. Yeah, comfortable with his power. So.
Yeah, I don't know what I would change about Allison. I think she's like one of the baddest chicks already, but maybe I know a lot of people really want her to use her power more, but you know what? I have to say, she's very responsible with it. It'll all work out in the end. Just, she's got a plan. I know she does.
I'm super happy because Luther redeems himself in the second season, which I was very happy to see. But I mean, nothing I would really change about the character. I think the only thing is Luther's got to get training with his powers a little bit. He's a little bit rusty, especially in the second season. So if he could start training and being in the ring more, then that would definitely be an improvement on his powers. That's for sure.
If I could change one thing about Klaus is I noticed something that I was reading in the comics that I didn't see in the series. Klaus was able to fly in the comics, but he's not able to in the series. But that's what I would change, because I feel like that'd be pretty cool, just like floating around everywhere. Yeah.
I think for Vanya, there's like a whole bunch of things that I think everybody would be like, yeah, you could probably change that. That'd be a little bit easier on her. But I think that's so much of what makes her her. And so in the storyline, I think her being so dysfunctional really works. But if it was in real life, probably honestly her confidence. or like her relationship with her siblings, because I feel like if they had built a better relationship together, maybe the world would be in a little bit of a better place, not blowing up.
I feel like I really like Diego's character, but I think I changed his ability to be more in touch with his feelings. I think that's the main thing I change about him.
The series has become well known, as Kiki said, all over the world, but a lot in the Latin American public is like just crazy about you guys. What do you think about that? Like, why more in South America than any other country in the world, or continent, I should say? And that's the question from Coney Lozano.
Well, I think obviously David Castaneda, who plays Diego. Obviously, he's Spanish, so it's that kind of influence, and obviously we play like a Spanish character, or a Latin character. So I think that could have had some influence on that. But yeah, the support from that community is absolutely insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, David's a great actor. I watched some of his movies, and like Sicario. He's in Sicario with Josh Brolin. He's an amazing performer. Yeah.
Anybody else wants to answer on that? Otherwise, Sasha Chavez is asking, what was your favorite behind the scene moment?
My favorite behind the scene moment was when we were all in the school room or the school trailer, and we all played Uno, and it was chaos. It was literal chaos. If anybody would like an idea of what that was like, Dante thought everybody was cheating. Nobody was cheating. And it was very, very fun and very hectic. And then we went and we filmed Umbrella Academy after.
I am still impressed that our friendships made it through those Uno games. But I think for me, probably filming like the latest scene in season 2, because it was so cold. I think that kind of brought us all together, the like mutual freezing from the inside out. And so that was a lot of fun.
I also really liked our lunches when we got to all just sit and hang out and just chat. I mean, those were some of the best moments, I think. We just got to really connect, and Ethan was dying most of the time, laughing about random stuff. And then, but no, it was really just a time for us to connect. And obviously Uno was the highlight, but just the lunches, just sitting down, connecting was great as well.
Yeah, for me was the Uno and the lunches too. I remember because I'd never won at the Uno game. I was the only one. I'm pretty sure I was the only one who didn't win. So that's why I thought everyone was cheating. I'm like, damn, y'all really doing me like that. But the lunches were also a fun time because I remember me and Blake would always go up for seconds. And the cheesecake they had there.
The cheesecake, oh my. Me and Dante, like, we finish our food, we just look at each other and be like, all right, we're getting more. Like, the food on set was so good. The lunches are definitely the best.
Oh, yeah.
Vera 32, if the world ends tomorrow, what will you do? What would you do?
Probably just spend the time with my family. I don't know, and my friends, I guess, too. Just try and see as many people as I know as I can before the world ends.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I can agree. I feel like I try to see like the people who, have always been there for me, who I care about the most, and show them that I really, really do appreciate them.
Yeah, I would definitely spend my last moments with my family, and especially my grandma and my grandparents and all of that. And I would say with my animal, my pet, but he ran away. So, pray Tokyo comes back. But yeah, that's how I would spend it with.
Oh.
Sorry to hear about the pet, Eden. Jeez. But yeah, same here. I mean, spend time with my family, my grandmother, definitely the people who, you know, I'm closest with. And yeah, but no, Eden, I hope your pet comes back. Jeez. So,
Yeah, my condolences, Eden. Wow, that's saddening.
As well.
Yeah, prayers up.
Yeah, hopefully you guys find it again. But yeah, we would all say, you know, spend our last moments with like our family. Um, yeah, hopefully the Umbrella Academy can stop it somehow. That would be funny.
Yeah, for me, it would definitely be my family and my closest friends and a lot of food. Like just watch some shows and eat a lot of food.
Let me see here. What else do we have? Yeah, a lot of people are asking, can you say something in Spanish, you know, in their own language, because they want to hear you speak Spanish. So I don't know if you want to try. I see your faces.
Whenever someone asks that, I'm always just, and I feel like I sort of have like an extra tie to that kind of Latin community because of like the character I play. But I'm not even I'm Filipino and I'm Polish, so I don't really have much actual ties like um but like the main thing I just go to like hola. Like I know it's like really just bad to say, but that's just the main thing I go to.
I,
I'm really disappointed in myself because I feel like, oh, sorry, wait, Eden, go ahead. Okay, well, I'm really disappointed in myself because I have a Latin uncle, so I really should know Spanish, but I don't. I mean, I only know un poquito, and like the only phrase that I know is because I like milk a lot. Like I drink milk all the time. I always say "Donde está la leche," but that's the only thing that I know. So I really should learn. But yeah, so I'm quite disappointed. I'm going to start taking. Actually, I'm taking Spanish. I chose Spanish as my elective for next semester. So hopefully I get Spanish so that I can then learn Spanish.
yes, I took Spanish a little bit when I was younger, but I'm so sorry. I really have no idea. I don't know anything. But I love you guys so much that I'm gonna say something. Please, I'm so sorry if I butcher this. Okay, here goes. Los quiero mucho. Does that mean I love you guys so much? This is on Translate. I am so sorry. But I tried, but I love you guys so much. So I tried.
It's all about trying. TJ, you want to try?
I would definitely butcher it. I know like on my TikTok they have a translate button, so I'll like translate Spanish comments in English so I can respond. And then everybody thinks I speak Spanish, and then I feel bad because I definitely do not. But
Well, you guys have been so wonderful to speak with. We're almost out of time. Is there anything else you'd like to say to your fans? We have thousands of them on Facebook and 1,000 people here on Zoom. So is there anything you'd like to say? And you know, everybody is in quarantine mode these days. So it was so important to bring you all together into this room. You're making thousands of fans happy. You're changing their day, their month, and we've been receiving a lot of messages. So know that your presence today was really valuable, and so thank you again for your time. But if there's anything else, you know, you'd like to say to them, please feel free to do it now.
Yeah, like,
I guess
go ahead.
to say,
Sorry.
one of you two go first.
Okay, well, I was just going to say, I just want to say thank you so much, Ingrid, for allowing us to come together like this. It's really been such a long time since I've seen all of my beautiful cast members, and it just giving me an opportunity to meet with the amazing supporters of Umbrella Academy. I hope that you guys are staying healthy and you're just staying safe, you and your families, and that you're doing the best you can these times. Enjoy the Christmas holidays, and thank you so much. I can't wait for season 3.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for watching the show. Actually, I wanted to say something to my Korean fans. I heard they were all here. 감사합니다, 사랑해요. And you know, gracias. Thank you for watching the show. You know, stay loyal to the show. Hopefully, you guys are looking out for season 3.
All right. I hope you guys are staying safe. Thanks for all the love and support we've been getting from you. We love you guys. Big heart for y'all. Yeah, thanks for joining. And hopefully if this ever happens again, if you didn't get a ticket for it, maybe you'll get it next time. If it happens again, I don't know, but yeah.
We hope so. Why not? So many people have asked even before this even started, can you do it again? Well, let's do it first. Let's see how it works. And who knows?
Well, yeah, thank you very much, Ingrid. I mean, this opportunity has been so nice. I mean, finally getting to see everyone again after so long, their faces, because, you know, our schedules conflict and it's not always the best timing to see each other. So this has definitely given us the opportunity, even though it's virtually, you know, to see everyone. And thank you so much to everyone's watching. I mean, gracias. It really, you guys really are the support of our show, and it really means a lot. So please stay safe. And yes, like Eden said, happy holidays.
Yeah, to reiterate, thank you, Ingrid. And yeah, thank you for having us. We really do appreciate it. And to all of you guys are awesome. Keep going in this quarantine. Hopefully we can all get through this together soon. Have a happy holidays, and we love you all so much, more than you know. So thank you guys so much for everything.
Yeah, thank you, Ingrid, for putting this together. It's been a ton of fun. I've been going through the chat to see if I can read as many messages as possible. And so we love you. We could not be where we are without you guys. And we really appreciate your support. Happy holidays. Happy almost Hanukkah, I think. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. Now you have many, many more reasons to watch or rewatch the show over the weekend with your friends and family. The replay will be available on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe, share the video, give us a thumbs up, and thank you to our incredible guests again, Blake, Cameron, Dante, Eden, Ethan, and TJ. You were just, again, so wonderful. Thank you for your time, your generosity. And I'd like to thank my dear friend Kiki for being my co-host today. It was so much fun to have you back after the festival that we just had last month. And of course, there is no show without an audience. So you guys are amazing. Happy birthday again to Noelia Vasquez from Chile. Thank you for all of your support and tuning in today. Please save the date for our next event, our Christmas party, actually on December 4th at 12 p.m. And remember to follow Chelsea Film Festival on social media for more fun experiences. Please stay safe, healthy, and have a beautiful weekend. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, guys. Let me actually, and also let's give a big round of applause. Sorry.